Students, I'm Siraj Khan, lecturer in English Cast. Welcome to my subject Shakespearean Studies. Our course code is English 4262 and it's our lecture number 18. Today we are talking about drama and theatre. What is a drama in literature? In literature, drama refers to the performance of written dialogue and stage action. It's a literary genre that allows actors to act out a writer's words directly to an audience. But there's more than one type of literary genre, and chances are that we have seen examples of them all. We are having comedy. Comedies are usually humorous plays, but being funny isn't the only way to define a comedy. The elements of a comedy include lightened tone, clever wordplay, or turns of phrase, serious topic addressed in a humorous way, comical misunderstandings. We are having the example of a comedy is Much Ado About Nothing. We are having farce, a type of broad comedy. It depends less on a narrative storyline and more on physical humor, sight gags, silly jokes, like exaggerated humor, slapstick gags, etc. We are having operas, dramas in which the characters sing each line rather than speaking. We are having melodramas. We are having musical dramas, we are having tragedies, and we are having tragic comedies. When we combine the elements of a comedy and a tragedy, we get a tragic comedy. The outlines will go like, first of all, what is drama, what is a play, and the people are the actors, the participants, theatre, and the areas of the stage. We will try to understand the concept of theatre and the areas of the stage, how the stages are being settled, elements of drama and history of drama. Drama is when we read a play or see performance in that stage, we are seeing a dramatization of the human condition. Being human involves laughter, tears, music, and tragedy, and no one knew that more than the bard himself. So prose are words telling a story intended for representation by actors through dialogue. The word drama means action in Greek. The Greek drama began with the work of Aristotle's Poetics in 335 BC, which is the oldest recorded work of dramatic theory. The tradition continued throughout Greek culture, marked by the famous laughing, crying mass of drama, Thalia, muse of comedy, and Melpomene, muse of tragedy. The Roman Empire adopted drama into their literary tradition, where it spread into Europe and became known as theatre in France and England. The Elizabethan era in particular was a flourishing time for European theatre, which set the stage, so to speak, for theatre around the world. The play. We are having a playwright, a person who writes plays, scripts. Just like a regular story, a play needs the elements of plot. So a play is a story acted out live and on stage. We are having a playwright, a person who writes plays. we are having script, printed copy of a play, we are having acts, the major sections of a play, and scenes, the smaller sections are portion of a play. A play presents characters performed by real people in a physical setting interacting before our eyes. In those characters, we are having actor male performer, we are having actress female performer, we are having cast, all performers selected to portray characters, and we are having the director who instructs actors on how to portray characters. Characters carrying out a series of actions driven by a conflict of some kind, a plot. And in plays, we are having characters carrying out a series of actions driven by a conflict of some kind in plays. So the concept of stories and plays both are prose narratives, describes characters, words and actions. The playwright may describe the characters and settings in the script, but the audience never hears these stage directions. The audience sees and hears only the actors' interpretations of them. The theatre, a building where a play is performed containing the stage and seating area for the audience. The areas of the stage, we are having backstage area behind scenery not visible to audience, that is called backstage. We are having center stage, the area in the center of the stage. Downstage area closest to the audience, that area is called downstage. We are having stage left and right areas covered by the actor's left or right as she faces the audience, the actor or the actress. Upstage, we are having area furthest away from the audience. We are having backdrop, painted curtain without fullness. We are having flats, canvas covered wooden frames used for scenery. Set, all sets and props that help define the action. Stage directions, we are having cue, something that precedes the next action. We are having cut to stop the action. We are having exit to leave the stage. The elements of our drama, we are having plot, the main storyline, we are having theme, the basic idea of the play. We are having characters like the persons, animal or thing in the story. We are having dialogues, language, formal setting or dialect. Dialogue, conversations between two or more characters. And we are having monologue, is a long speech made by one actor to one or more other characters on stage, or one person speaking. We are having spectacle, visuals, involved on stage. Costumes is clothing worn by an actor on stage to help represent characters like costumes, wigs, and body paint used to transform an actor into a character. Props, items used on stage to help actors tell a story. Whatever the items are used on stage to help actors tell a story. Creative dramatics is improvisation to make up or perform without preparation. As we are having some technical elements there, lights, sound, makeup, and other things as well. And we are having pantomime to communicate without speaking, using only facial and body gestures. Mimicry to copy or imitate something very closely, and role playing to take on the characteristics of someone or something. A history of drama. Drama began in ancient Greece, dating back to 543 BC, and it started as choral performances of dancing and singing, honoring the Greek god Dionysus, the god of wine, and especially if we go back to the history of drama, it started with the Aristotle's Poetics in 335 BC, which is the oldest recorded work of dramatic theory where drama took place. The tradition continued throughout Greek culture, marked by the famous laughing, crying marks of drama. The Greeks held their dramas in outdoor theatres called amphitheatres, the largest seating 14,000 people. And this was the theatre at Delphi. If we go back the use of drama in more narrow sense to design a specific type of play, dates from the modern era. Drama in this sense refers to a play that is neither a comedy nor a tragedy. For example, Zola's Thérèse, Requiem, Chekhov's Evono. In the modern dramas, film studies dramas, narrative dramas, we are having the enactment of drama in theatre performed by actors on stage before an audience in the olden presupposes collaborative modes of production and a collective form of reception. The structure of dramatic texts, unlike other forms of literature, is directly influenced by the collaborative production and collective reception. In types of Greek drama, is we were having tragedy, character is confronted with a difficult moral choice and usually ends in his or her death. Just from the word tragedy, you can assume that the ending will be sad. But there is more to a tragedy than a play with no happy ending. You can tell if a play is a tragedy if it includes the protagonist with a tragic flaw. Protagonist, the main character, goes with a tragic flaw. second, the circumstances that quickly get out of control and not in a funny way. Darker themes than a melodrama, such as human suffering, hatred, or poverty. The features the downfall of previously heroic or well-liked character and a redeemable ending that results in one or more characters' deaths, like reaches a tragic catharsis. Like if we take the example of Shakespeare, who has any number of tragedies to choose from, but few can rival like Othello for its cruel villain, its hero's tragic downfall, and its desperately sad ending. Othello loses everything he has ever loved or wanted because he can't trust that he deserves the life he has. We are having comedy, a humorous, entertaining performance with a happy ending. Comedies are usually humorous plays, but being funny isn't the only way to define a comedy. The elements of a comedy include light-hearted tone, clever wordplay, or tons of praise. The timing is especially in comedy. We are having the dialogue delivery, serious topics addressed in a humorous way, comical misunderstandings, and happy ending, silly, offbeat characters, and often ends with a wedding, especially in romantic comedies. One of the most famous examples of a comedy is William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Beatrice and Benedict transition from foes to lovers with clever banter and more than a few silly misunderstandings, and like all proper Shakespearean comedies, it ends with a wedding. In Greek drama, the actors all wore masks to help the audience recognize the character they were playing. So, the importance of mask there is by representing the characters, is the Agamemnon mask. And we are having theater of Dionysus, located at the bottom of the Acropolis in Athens. We are having orchestra, the chorus standing there, and proskynians in skins. So, a drama, when you read a play or see performances on stage, you are seeing a dramatization of the human condition. Being a human involves laughter, tears, music, and tragedy, and no one knew that more than the bard himself. So, a drama and theater, we discussed its origin in the elements of drama. In which are plot, conflict, basic situation, complication, the climax, resolution, and the climax, rising action and falling action. We are having that leads to the first exposition, that leads to climax, the rising action, and the falling action leads to resolution, and the play that has been divided in that. Thank you very much and good luck.